All right, ladies and gentlemen, good Thursday morning. Made what, 600 bucks in 4 minutes? I guess my sniper shot training is already done for the day. I'm going to go to the beach right now. No, I'm kidding. I'll go ahead and still knock out the brief. But if you were a TGO member, you just, well, actually, you could have made close to 1,000 bucks in about 7 minutes. That's what we're going to focus on in this brief. Yeah, Amazon is ripping, ripping, loving my Amazon. Keep an eye on your short calls. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But my Amazon bull put spread, my Amazon burner trade out to January, everything is ripping and green, ladies and gentlemen. Good stuff. We're going to talk about all that in a little bit. As of me jumping on the air, we got 7 uh, full throttle memberships left. So essentially, we're closing the doors today. What a great week of trading. Did you get the Amazon synthetic stock on Monday? If you got in Amazon on Monday, you're printing money. What did I tell you? Other trades, SIBO. You see SIBO ripping. JP Morgan, Raytheon. Who was wanking about Raytheon 2 days ago? Who was it? Before I go back and look at the chat, somebody was like, "Oh my God, look at Raytheon." I'm like, who was it? The other day, Raytheon imploded and is ripped even higher. What did I tell you, man? Uh, what did I tell you was going to happen? Buy the rumor, sell the news. That's all it did, folks. It's a gift. Look at this: implosion, bounce, rip, even higher. It's a wizism, folks. You got to write these things down and listen to me. Buy the rumor, sell the news. So anybody who's panicking on Raytheon, choke yourself and give me 50 push-ups. Can everybody hear me? Dave's saying he can't hear. Is it me? Clearly, it is you, since everybody else hasn't said any of that. Okay, so again, everything I covered this week is printing money. SIBO, Raytheon, Amazon, JP Morgan. What else? But we'll cover my sniper shot that I just took this morning in a couple minutes. I'm going to brief you on all that, and I'm going to brief you on how we're record highs, man. We are way overbought up here, in my opinion, and we're probably due for at least a level off or maybe even a pullback. So we're going to talk about that. There you go. Oh yeah, the America trade, Paul. Thank you for reminding me. If you got your bullish on America trade, you're also printing money. So, folks, I'm the only guy in the industry that does this. Everybody else is going to kill you with PowerPoint slides, cherry picked winning trades from years ago on a screenshot on their screen instead of opening up the doors to their briefs for a week like I do and showing it to you. How's my America trade doing in the model portfolio? I think it's up about 10 grand in a couple, no, month and a half. I did mine about a month and a half ago. As that's pulling up here, let me remind you to, grab your full throttle membership. $295, you're kicking the tires. You want to keep kind of checking me out. $497 a month will get you into our Hunters Investment Club to try it out for a couple months. If you're not ready to commit to what? An annual membership. $29.95. Based on the trades before the opening today, that's about 50. Let me round up, 6 grand. You're up about 6 grand this week if you covered the trades or did the trades as I've covered them. So I've essentially paid for 2 years of a full throttle membership this week live. Okay. And again, men lie, trades don't. Where is my bullish? Oh, here's my bullish on America trade. 10,500 bucks. The 11,000, 12,000 call vertical out to D's of 30. Almost $11,000, ladies and gentlemen, on my bullish on America trade that I covered. Again, men lie, trades don't. If you were here, if you weren't here all week and you need the replays, go watch the replays. And everything I've covered, you didn't miss it. I get into all of these things, folks. Okay. Hey, real quick, since I'm super busy, folks, I kind of pulled back from doing a podcast a week. So they're going to start re-releasing some of the biggest ones. This is one I didn't get to cover yesterday in the psychedelic brief. This is my first medicine debrief. episode 7 of the Max Afterburner podcast. This is where I debrief my first ibogaine experience, N5-MeO DMT. I strongly recommend you listen to this podcast. This was what, 3 years ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, before the podcast studio I go to started doing video podcasts. So this is just an audio one, man. Download it or listen to it on Spotify or Apple Podcast in traffic, at the gym, going for a walk, or just sit there and listen to it. This is a must listen. Okay. This will tell you why I came home and started the foundation. This will tell you why I'm in Healing Realty Trust, Demorex. This is why I got an announcement. I'm doing a podcast tomorrow. Not going to steal my thunder. That I'm making an announcement about something cool that Susie and I just got airborne. Okay, so this is absolutely fantastic podcast to listen to. Okay. Sandra, is it too late to do Amazon trade? It is never too late to do an Amazon synthetic stock trade. If you are bullish on Amazon years into the future, then you do it right now. What would I do right now, Sandra? If you're not in Solo Amazon, that's exactly what I would do. I would join Solo Amazon immediately. It's only $97 a month, folks. Do the annual, you save money. It's $970 for a year. Hell, the Amazon trade that I covered on Monday is up more than $970. I have a bull put spread on. I have a burner trade on. Amazon is printing. Amazon doing month to date. Account. It keeps saying preparing live stream. My Amazon is up over $2,000. There's 2 years of membership in the Solo Amazon in one of my accounts paid for. So Sandra, yes, join Solo Amazon. And yes, I would do the Amazon trade today. Go watch the replay, folks. If you don't have the Amazon trade from Monday, it's right here. Go watch the Solo Amazon replay on the replay page. Okay. What else do I have to cover before I get airborne? Oh, quick reminder. I covered this in the video brief I sent out. Apologies yesterday. Next door construction knocked out the internet. It came back for a second. I jumped on, went away again. I'm like, done. Even if it came back, I wasn't going to jump on. So I covered Maverick Mind, microdosing yesterday. So start microdosing, man. I took 2 of my morning briefs this morning. I absolutely love my morning brief. 5 days on, 2 days off. And then about an hour before bed, our night duty. GetMaverickMind.com is where we have all of our microdosing products and our merch, right? All of our cool merch. We got the OG hat. This is the original No Fallen Heroes Foundation lid that AJ Buckley wore on SEAL Team last season. Right there. He's on our advisory board. We also got our Maverick Mind shirts as well, and also our Maverick Mind hats, either white or black. So go get your Maverick Mind. Start microdosing, folks. This is what our grant recipients use before they go to sit in ceremony or sit with the sacraments. Maverick Mind, okay? And I think that's it as far as my briefing card for today. That's it for admin items. All right, we got to get airborne. I got a lot to cover. You're going to like this, man. The S&P 500. Yeah, MindMed is printing money, folks. I told you the psychedelic stocks are screaming buy. Absolute buy here. We already talked about the Patriots and why you should be long-term bullish on Raytheon. You should have bought right after earnings. I told you this week, yesterday or Tuesday, I said buy Raytheon with both hands, especially on that dip. Whoever panicked, I hope you didn't panic and sell. You should have added more on that dip. Raytheon is going to rip higher in the years ahead. It has to. We don't have any weapons, folks. It says it in this article. And when you're the only one kind of making what Israel, Ukraine, and people need, you kind of got a monopoly. Oh, hey, U.S. government, we just kind of raised the prices on all of our weapon systems. What's the U.S. government going to do? Look at JG, folks, up 267% on Raytheon. What do you think of that? Trump's new trade standard takes shape with 15% tariff deal. Deal with Japan, deal with Europe on the table. Listen to the sub-headline, folks. Follows months of uncertainty. Okay. will likely raise prices. Okay, whatever, Wall Street Journal. You've been wrong. I've been right. While offering a bit of clarity for global trade. So I'm going to answer the Wall Street's stupid question. Where is it? Right here. Why are stocks up? Nobody knows. I know the market doesn't like uncertainty. When something's known, it's known. The market is forward looking. The market right now is seeing deals. The market is seeing Jerome Powell. Well, the president's going to the Fed this afternoon. The first time the president visited the Fed in like 100 years or something weird. He's going to the Fed building. I don't know if he's going to go fire him. He's not. Rate cuts. Chat GPT it, folks. Probably, I think there's a 60-ish average 50 to 70% probability of rate cut in September. It goes up in October and it's really high in December. So the market likes that we're starting to see certainty with trade. The market likes that we're closer to rate cuts. The Wall Street Journal doesn't know why stocks are going up. I do. And oh, by the way, earnings are solid. Did you miss the earnings last week? JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, Bank of America, printing money. So again, all these doomsayers and Trump's going to raging inflation and unemployment and a recession and a bear market. None of it happened. And if you're rooting for those things, you're weird. Technically, as an options trader, I root for those things. Why? Because I print money with blood in the streets. Okay. I like an up market just because regular Americans don't know how to trade blood in the street, but it's so stupid that the people that were all the doomsayers. Where do trade talks stand? Who hasn't gotten a deal yet? So this, I needed something like this because I got to be honest with you. I'm like, I thought he said a month ago, I got to deal with China trade deal done. I'm like, what? And then Canada and this, and well, at Brazil, 50% tariff because of Bolsonaro. So we're getting there. There's still a lot of uncertainty. The next one I really care about is the EU, right? Really don't care about Canada. I don't care about Mexico, even those things are still kind of up in the air. But certainty is coming, okay? I like your Trump accent. It's awful. This was awesome yesterday. So when the Wall Street Journal posted this article, like, why are stocks up? Nobody knows. The Treasury Secretary, I love this guy. If he, J.D. Vance and Scott Bessent for president and vice president, he lays into the Wall Street Journal like, well, if their reporters actually covered markets, they'd know why the market is up. So we got trade deals coming. We got more trade deals coming. The U.S. economy is regaining its swagger. The global economies, folks, it's a rabbit being eaten by a python, right? Or maybe a goat, since python's big. It eventually is going to pass. We figure it out. Markets weren't going to implode and everybody's going to die. You figure it out, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? So this is historic. The NASDAQ 100, 60 consecutive trading days, ripping. Such a strong bullish run is truly historic. How about this one? Make that 62 trading days in a row that the S&P 500 has closed above what? Its 20-day moving average. The longest ever, 101 days in 1964. So, ladies and gentlemen, when I start seeing all of these headlines, what does the whiz fighter start getting? A little not nervous. I start looking at the exit. I start looking between my legs for that ejection handle. Like, risk appetite is through the roof. Why is SIBO going through the roof? Because everybody is trading the hell out of options. We are back at 2022 stupidity with GameStop, Open Door, 1-800-Flowers. Have you seen the new meme stocks that are ripping all over the place? What's Flowers doing? Like 1-800, they're back, baby. FL, what is it? Flowers. What is it? There it is. FLWS. Like the meme stocks are back, but man, I wanted to buy some puts on this. Yeah, I mean, look at this. Somebody was pumping this thing the other day higher, and it's already filled the gap. Damn it, I was going to buy some puts. But folks, I start looking around towards the exit around now. Okay. I love these type of headlines. Let's read this one together. Institutional investors, the smart money, are still selling to retail. Institutional investors sold 800 million in single stocks and ETFs last week, building on 2.4 billion the week before. This is the 10th week of selling out of the last 11 from the smart money. Retail buyers have now been, or retail investors have been net buyers. Wall Street versus Main Street continues. The smart money doesn't seem that smart. When they're forced to jump back in at record highs, then the markets will really rip. Capital flows to where it can make money, and they don't get paid for sitting in cash. Do you get this, folks? If you remember a couple weeks ago, what happened at the end of June? This is called window dressing. All the stupid money, I mean the smart money, panicked and sold. Towards the end of the last quarter, they're like, holy crap, I better pad my portfolios with some of the recent winners. It's called window dressing. It's an industry practice. So, ladies and gentlemen, I've been doing this a long time, over 3 decades. This is another time where I've proven, where's my book, COVID Crash, right? We destroyed the so-called smart money. I can't stand when CNBC's like, up next, legendary investor. I'm like, oh, the guy that's been wrong a shitload. I kind of wrote a book about it. So here's what's going to happen. So read this. It's so funny, man. It's like Caddyshack, the movie Caddyshack. Remember when they had caddy swim hour at the club, like from noon to 12:10, and they all came in screaming? That's how Wall Street and professional investors see retail traders, the unwashed masses. Well, tell me why Ken Griffin at Citadel and Stevie Cohen buy payment for order flow from Robinhood. The smart money is now following the unwashed masses. They are underperforming the S&P, all the benchmarks year to date, and are going to have to eventually get in this thing. That is going to make my second half of the year rally, which we're already in, even better. Okay, so let's all laugh at the so-called smart money. Okay. Monster trading alert. Amazon. Jeff Bezos just dumped 1.5 billion worth of Amazon shares. Of course, I said got to pay for that wedding. But folks, don't forget, a lot of these, and I looked, are part of pre-planned sales. Clearly, Jeff ain't, super. I think he's probably got a couple more shares under his carpet. I also believe he might be doing this. He needs a little cash for what? This. Jeff Bezos wanting possible acquisition of the cheerleader network. Could you imagine Amazon, Jeff Bezos owning CNBC? You want to talk about bullish only stories for a name that I could not be more bullish on? Isn't that awesome? We're going to have our own network, ladies and gentlemen. It is comical. Celia just looked at my account. Raytheon synthetic stock now up 178%. I absolutely love this. Okay. So there we go. There's our strategic, operational, and tactical brief. Now, here's what I want to do. I want to show you how I may, and again, men lie, trades don't. I want to show you how. So there you go. I sent out an alert this morning or I placed a trade at 9:42. I got out 5 minutes later, in at $1.40, out at 90 for $600. I think that was 30%. If I didn't have you to talk to, I'd be done for the day. It was over a cup of coffee. I didn't even finish my coffee, made $600. I'm done. If you had stayed in that trade, it would have made even more. You could have gotten out for a better profit. Okay. Let me show you. And so who was it? Simon or somebody was in here like, let me look at these things. So here's the hunters. Let me refresh. I might reload on, I might throw on a bull put spread. We'll see. I'm going to show you my methodology. So right there, in, out, 300 bucks, or I'm sorry, 30%, 300 bucks. So Simon put on trade a minute and a half after the alert was received, but spread was only 80 cents. Is there a delay on these alerts that I am dealing with here? No. When I fire an alert, I usually pick up my phone, and about a second to maybe a second and a half, I get the alert. So Simon, what happened? Did you not see the S&P 500? So what I'm going to do, you need to be, so here's what I was looking at this morning. Let's get into it. This is my proprietary. I'm not going to give you all of it because you need to go buy it if you're not a member. This is an open brief, and I have a full one of these briefs. Let me drop a 25 up here right there. Options Weapon School Session 7 is a deeper brief on what I'm going to show you. If you're not a member, you need to join. If you are a member, go watch that one for a bigger detail. So, ladies and gentlemen, you are looking at a chart of SPX. I do not trade SPY. It settles in shares, and I get a better tax treatment trading SPX. I don't trade SPY. You should not either. So I use a 2-minute chart. Why not 1 minute? Because I don't have ADHD and I can't stand looking. You can't tell a trend. 3-minute or longer is too long. I've been doing this for 34 years. A 2-minute chart is absolutely perfect. Now, you also see that I just dropped in a line up here at a 25 point, 63.75. You see another line at 63.50. You see another line down at 63.25. You see a line at 6,300. Why? E-Trade didn't put those on here. I did. Look at my screen. What does the S&P 500 move in increments of usually? 25. Do you see anything? We went from 6,300 and ripped right up to 63.25. We hovered around 63.25 all day on, was that yesterday? Yesterday, got a pop almost up to what? The ceiling, which was 63.50. Well, that was, yeah. And then we hovered around 63.50 and then just did what? A run. We opened up this morning and hit the ceiling of 63.75. I can open up my chart and show you. Look at my chart. The S&P, the $25 increments, folks, are what I call magnets. That's where options on the S&P 500, SPX, tend to pin, it's called. Okay? So this morning, let's go look at what I was looking at. Okay? Futures. And let me remind you, folks, that the futures market technically doesn't mean anything. How many times have you seen the futures green, market opens and then implodes, or vice versa? The futures market is a different world. Pre-market trading is a different world. It can be a little bit of an indicator, but I remember driving from yoga one Wednesday or whenever it was when the inflation numbers came out. 9.1%. 40-year high. The futures were up like 800 points. Why? Before somebody leaked, somehow rumor got around that the CPI print the next morning would be 10.1%. Do you remember this? Thanks, Joe. When the print came out the next morning at 8:30 a.m. at only 9.1%, the market ripped. The futures market. What did Wiz, driving with his knees from yoga, say? Sell it. Sell the open. What? The market opened up high and in about 3 minutes started to fade. The market actually closed down that day just a little bit, but it closed red. So don't take 100% certainty in what the futures market or the pre-market trading is telling you. Anyway, so what happened this morning? We opened with a little bit, and that's called a gap, right? We closed right there. We opened up about 10, 15 points, started to hover, and then on a 2-minute chart, I use something called 2, 4, 6. Meaning, and these are called candles, folks, right? That's as high as it got during this 2-minute interview. That little drill bit, there's the periscope, there's the drill bit. That's the range of that candle, the high and the low, okay? And then obviously red tells you the direction, down, green, up. So we gapped a little up. We were trying to get up to that 63.75, a couple more periscopes, small candles, and then we turned to green right there with a big drill bit down during the 2 minutes. But no, as soon as I saw, so that was 2, that counts as a 2-minute candle. As soon as I saw the next one green at a 4 with a big candle, I fired. So if you shoot a sniper, I call them, at 2 minutes, it's super aggressive. It's gambling. Do I do that? Yeah, I do sometimes. This was probably a 3-minute today because I got that 2 print with a drill bit. I'm like, I think we're going to turn. I can shoot it too because I've been doing this forever and I'm pretty damn surgical with my S&P 500 trades. The next print was a 4-minute thick candle. That would be an aggressive sniper. So a 2-minute snipe, if you shoot a spread just looking at one candle at a 2-minute, gambling. I don't gamble. I know what I'm doing. 4-minute is aggressive. If you wait, Wiz, I got a solid green candle at 2 minutes. I got another one at 4. If you wait for the 6 in this case, that's kind of conservative. Now you got a trend. 2, 4, 6. If you got 6, if you got 3 green candles in 6 minutes, and then you snipe, it's, that's very conservative. So here's a perfect example this morning. Fired the alert right there, and it kept going. I got out like right here. Right about the middle of that candle is where I got filled. This is why I said if you had stayed in it, you probably could have gotten, I don't know, maybe $1,000 in profit in about 10 minutes. Nobody's gone broke taking a profit, folks. Okay. When I see $600 in 4 minutes, I'm going to go out, done, and go enjoy my life. I don't sit here and do this all day. If I didn't have you, I probably would have left. Now, once I sniped, and let me remind you, folks, we call this amateur hour. Between 9:30 and 10:30, you're going to see all sorts of craziness. At 10:30 in Chicago, we went and drank for the day, or I would go to the gym most of the time or play racquetball. The SIBO had a big gym. Why? Because the rest of the day is dead until when? The close. 3 o'clock, trade the close. You'll see this type of movement going on too. Usually in the middle of the day is some sort of stability, unless you get a Donald Trump sitting in the Oval Office offhand remark about Powell. That's all different, man. We were sitting there, what was it, last week where we got or was it early? Oh, it was right here. I had a bear call spread on, and then, the president, I'm going to fire Powell. When was that? That was free money. And then I think that was right here. And then in the Oval Office, Mr. President reports that you typed up a letter to fire Powell. You showed it to Republican senators and they agreed. Are you going to do it? No, I should, but I'm not going to do it. As soon as he said, I'm not going to do it, bull, put, spread, it ripped higher into the close. And I think I let that one expire for a max profit. That was like $2,200. That's free money, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Now let's get back to today. Right around here, 246, I'm like, it hit the roof, a 63.75. It hit a 25 indicator. Could have shot a bear call spread. Look at this. The exact same trade I could have done in the other direction. I probably could have made another $600 for $1,200, but I had to start this brief and teach you how to do this stuff. Okay. So it ain't rocket surgery, folks. It is experience. Okay. Yeah. So the market moved too fast. So whoever it was, Simon or something like that, folks, I'm trading for me. Remember, I can't tell you what to do. I'm not giving you investment advice. I'm showing you what I'm doing. Okay. And I just showed you what I did. You need to learn. You are here at Top Gun Options to get this Top Gun Options patch on your shoulder. Where am I talking? There we go. That's what you want. How do you get it? Experience. So the other reason I'm showing you exactly what I'm trading is so you can go, oh, I see that. I see that. Note for future use. Don't sit there on the end of a dock like a fat walrus at the wharf in San Francisco waiting for fish to be thrown in your mouth. I am trying to teach you how to fish. Now, let me stop right here and give you a massive warning. Do not do this if you don't know what you're doing. Also, currently, and I just heard a rumor or I saw a post the other day, this might change, but as it currently stands, you need at least $25,000 in your account to do these type of trades. Why? It's called PDT, pattern day trader. Don't get me started about a government $37 trillion in debt telling you what you can do with your money. It infuriates me. I have it on good authority that, and because somebody posted this in the thing, and I reached out to a DC buddy of mine, he's like, we're getting there. They're getting ready to drop it down to like $2,000 or something like that. It would be infuriating to me. I have a bunch, my kids' accounts, teaching them how to trade and stuff. Boing, warning, your account is restricted, pattern day trading violation. I'm like, how dare you? It's just like the options levels of experience. People join TGO and they're like, I need to get options approval. Isn't that funny? I'm at Topkin Options to learn how to trade. So they should give me approval. Well, no, you needed to lie to them when you opened your brokerage account and tell them that you've been trading options for 10 years and you're the riskiest man in the world, right? It's so stupid. Trust me. So, I'm vamping a little bit because we're almost done. Meaning you got some initial moves, folks. Usually based on how the pre-market goes and the opening bell, you're going to see a move at the open. I did this the other day. Let's go to my sniper the other day where people panicked down and I needed to not listen to members. I needed to listen to me. Wherever it was the other day. It was a bear call spread. People were like, oh my God, do you think it's, market? I'm like, let me remind you folks, with these type of trades with the S&P 500, 99.9% of the time, I set it and forget it because I shot a bear call spread. Market went up. Was it a bear? Yeah. I forget what it was the other day. And it kept going up, but we hovered at that level for most of the day. What usually happens after a gap move and a hover all day? The day traders sell into the close. The market tends to fade. So I overtraded that day because I'm not going to blame members. It influenced me. I'm like, man, I'm not even going to watch this thing. Well, what if it doesn't? I'm like, all right, well, you can leg. I'm not even going to get into this. An iron butterfly and try and repair it or something like that. Shouldn't have done any of that. The majority of my sniper trades are set it and forget it. I know the trends, and it happened whenever day this week. I think it was this week. If I hadn't touched it, it would have been a max profit. Instead, legging into an iron butterfly, it ended up being $1,000 or a $1,200 loss. So I turned a 100% profit into which would have been about $2,200 to a $1,200 loss. Dumb. Okay. Now I'm also vamping a little bit because I'm seeing this on the S&P 500. I'm seeing a nice steady climb to 63.75. Okay. Here's what I'm getting at. Right now, this is a double top on the S&P 500. Okay. Usually if you see a triple top, if we hit the ceiling up here, I'd probably fire a bear call spread because I think we're going to fade. Okay. All right. So let me take a look at some of these questions here because I try and I got to go down to the hangar here at 11:30. So I want to try and squeeze in a trade that's going to act like a hedge. I think we're running out of airspeed up here. I don't think we're going to have some sort of massive implosion, but at least we got Amazon earnings coming up, right? So I think the market's going to hover. We might sell the news. We'll see. Patrick, best sniper I ever shot was a set it and forget it, right? That's not my saying. That's the Ronco Easy Bake Oven. Remember that commercial? Set it and forget it. He puts like a chicken in there. Donna, is it still 3 trades per week allowed without being flagged? Donna, I forget. I don't know. Call your broker. I'm hearing that they might be getting rid of that. So, Aaron and Cami and May E-Trade approved me for level 3 options. It gave me a message that if I had more than 3 trades, it would assign me as a day trader. Yeah, exactly. William, do you ever follow? I have no idea what UOA is. Don't know what that is. Amazon. Okay. I rarely trade after market, folks. Yes, Bollinger Bands, and I think that's the 20-day moving average. What did I just hover? What's it say behind there? The 100-day, I think, whatever moving average. Garrett up 329% on Raytheon Synthetic. Wow. And folks, so my sniper shots, let me show you. Unusual options activity. Sometimes I look at unusual options activity. Remember, folks, if you're seeing unusual options activity, it already happened. If I do look at unusual options activity, it's maybe to do the exact opposite of what that is. Or I might leech on it. John and Pete Najarian, it's so funny. They're good dudes. I knew them from Chicago. That's all they do. I mean, it's follow the crowd. Somebody already made the move, man. Why don't you predict the move? Right? So unusual options activity can be an indicator. It can also be, I've been on Wall Street, folks. There are firms that do things to throw other firms. I told you, trading is a form of combat. There are people that do stuff in the options world to fake out other firms and moves. Bigger conversation. We can talk about that sometime at a Top Gun Options live event in person when I have my annual glass of red wine. Okay. Victor, no, I would not buy the dip in Chipotle. Nope. Apparently the dude leaving to go to Starbucks left them stupid. I mean, we're down at 6-month lows. I mean, if I wouldn't, Victor, but if you're long-term bullish on Chipotle, it's a gift. But stocks go down for a reason, folks. That's an ugly chart. Now we're at a triple bottom. 1, 2, 3. I would wait, to be honest with you. That was not good. All right, look at this. I'm vamping a little because we are making a run towards 63.75 and it might fade. But I can't sit here and see. I can't stand this. I can't wait all day for another sniper shot. I like my $600. But you'll watch. I mean, 2, 4, 6. These are powerful candles. You could have legged into a bull put or put on a bull put spread down here. But now I tend to go the exact opposite. 63.75 is a magnet, folks, and we tried to hit it a couple times. If we hit it, I think we fail and we fade the rest of the day. So I'd have a bear call spread sniper under the trigger. Okay. Trying to keep an eye on it. Let me talk about Amazon real quick because that was a massive pop and then drop. So this morning, I looked at that and I'm like, oh, wow, where's my synthetic stock? I have a short 232.5 call this morning, or not this morning, I mean, on in general. That expires tomorrow. Amazon needs to stay below 232.5 by Friday, and I'll make the max profit. It's $100 right now. $100 is $100, folks. Lowers the cost basis of the trade. So this morning, when Amazon had this rip your face off rally, did I freak out? The answer is no, folks. Let me remind you just something mentally about trading. If you're freaking out, you're doing it wrong. Period. Shameless plug for Maverick Mind. You need to be microdosing, folks. How should you be if your short calls are getting blown out? Okay. How should you be if Amazon's printing money? Okay. If you are super freaked out when you're losing money or your short calls underwater and you're so happy when you're making money, you're doing it wrong. I guarantee you. I've been doing this for over 3 decades, folks. Trade centered. The best professional traders that I knew, and that's why pilots make good traders, man. No emotion, checklists. Okay. Like, for example, this morning, in the first 20 minutes of trading, the short calls hit my eject criteria. What is my eject criteria? Say it with me. Double the credit that I took in. Did I eject? Nope. Why? Because this is a massive pop on no news. I knew it was most likely going to fade, and it did. Now look what we're doing. We're bouncing off of around 230. Does anybody see where my lines are? These are Wiz lines, not E-Trade lines. Anybody see where my lines are? Oh, they just happen to be where? Where the options expirations are. Everybody see where my lines are? Huh, that's really strange that Amazon is either moving up or down to where my lines are. Am I a whiz? No, this isn't hard. William, how to get rid of emotions? I absolutely love that question. William, you must trade with a, say it with me, trade plan. Now, clearly, I've done a horrific job of teaching you this week if you didn't know that. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're not trading with a trade plan, you are doing it wrong. Where's my combat trade plan? One pager. Do you not have this? Steps 1 through 7. This is your trade plan, baby. Let me go. Where's the blank one? Let me show you a blank one of these. Do you not have this? I thought you got this when you you got this when you joined. There it is right there. What's your strategic mindset? Bullish, bearish, volatile, neutral. What's my target? Amazon, currently trading at this. What's my commit criteria? Why am I committing capital to this trade? 2 to 3 sentences. What's my tactic? Synthetic stock. Here's my max risk. Here's where I'm going to exit. Hold on. Let me scroll down here. Let me get rid of that. Whoops. Let me erase stuff. Clear drawings. What's my profit target? What are the threats to success in this trade? When am I going to eject? My exit plan. Ladies and gentlemen, do you not have this? Folks, this is what you learn in Options Weapons School. Let me close this and I'll share it with you right now in the chat box here. Chat. Where's my document? Your computer. I'm keeping an eye on that too. Yep, absolutely. We are got to keep an eye on my JP Morgan. Where is home? Libraries. 7-step trade plan. Does everybody see this in the chat box? All right, good. Donna, I share all of this where? Everybody say it with me. Options Weapons School, Session 1. Start watching. Over here on the right, ladies and gentlemen, Options Weapons School, Session 1. Where do I gather my intelligence sources? These are investing basics, tactical trade planning. So during Options Weapons School number 7, I show you my SOP, standard operating procedure. Here is my max. I'm going to risk on every trade. Here are my profit targets. That is all in your training. Join and go watch Options Weapons School. Okay, let me look at JP Morgan. I think I have short calls on JP Morgan as well. I have, holy crap, I got 270, I got 297 and a half calls that are currently in the money because it's at 298. Am I freaking out right now? Nope. We're on a Thursday, folks. A day is a world of time. Okay. Oh, let me update some lines in here and put it where the strikes are. 290. I think it's 290. What are the strikes? 297 and a half. You can see my short call right there in 300. 297 and a half. I think JP Morgan most likely is going to fade a little bit here. It's on a tear right now. What's Wiz always say? When something's on a tear, either join it or get out of the way. I'm going to hang for a couple seconds. Not a couple seconds. I'm probably going to hang the rest of the day. Wiz, you told me you run the risk of assignment. I do. I'm the tick. I'm the trader in command. If you have short calls on JP Morgan right now and you're freaking out, you didn't take your Maverick mind, and you want to get out, get out. I'm not. I'm going to hang. Tomorrow, I'm definitely going to keep an eye on them because I don't want to run the risk of early assignment. But these aren't super deep in the money right now. They are 50, they're $1 in the money. Okay. Did you listen to me when I told you to get long-term bullish on JP Morgan? The stock is printing money from the bottom of the panicking to right now. The stock, not the options, are up. The stock's up 40%. My synthetic stock position is up 107%. Bank of America, 94%. SIBO, 122%, folks. My Amazon positions. My synthetic stock is still a little underwater because I got it up there at 250 or whatever it was. So, ladies and gentlemen, synthetic stocks print money. Does everybody understand that? JP Morgan is a must buy. Wiz sold 4 contracts in the front month. Let me scroll up and read that comment. Look at that. Nice job, Jan. Well done. Very well done. Changes probably coming into PDT. Thanks, Brent. Brent, you posted that in the brief. So this is good news. So for all the people who didn't join, we might be shooting a bear sniper here, who didn't join, in the past because of like, oh, I can't do your SPX trades. It's coming. I'm telling you, it's coming. Donald Trump and his administration. Folks, remember, I didn't cover any of this, but this is a no-brainer. And Besson covered this the other day, better than I could ever say. I forget what the estimate is. The boost to GDP from, say it with me, deregulation. I was in Chicago when Frank and Dodd came out, right? The Dodd-Franks. Folks, I used to live in the compliance officer's office. We're a broker-dealer and a proprietary trading firm. You're over here teaching people how to trade. We need a Chinese wall. The regulations under Democrats in this country are stifling. This document, this Constitution, limits your powers, government. It doesn't restrict ours. They have it backwards. So all the loosening regulation, folks, is bullish for this economy. I told you this as soon as Trump got elected. I said, folks, we're going to rip. The market's going to rip under Trump. Before he started all his trade wars, I said deregulation alone, what he called it, the Green New Scam, all sorts of stuff like that, folks, is going to be bullish, and it has been. But I think we're probably going to get one of these soon. I mean, we got close the other day on, is Trump going to fire Powell? No, that's what it was. That's when I should have held that sniper. So, ladies and gentlemen, what time is it? Now, 12 minutes. I'm not going to force it. I am going to force it. I'm going to force you to join because I was going to cover an S&P 500 Tredge. I'm not going to do it. 4 days, way too much stuff for free. So I'm going to give my members a trade. Not right now. I'm going to give it to them over in the member areas because we're going to Tredge. At least put on the market's going to hover a pullback. We're waiting for Amazon. We're waiting for stuff. So if we could at least put on a roof. I don't know if I do a bearish double vertical. I'm not really, really, really bearish. I just think we're going to start to hover. So we might look at putting a little bit of a roof on for the next week or so using the S&P 500. Okay. Got a lot of new members, man. I like seeing 275 in here in the hunters. How many solo Amazon folks we got now over here in the ready room? 629. I think we had 617 the other day or something like that. So welcome aboard to all the new folks. Remember, I'm going to slam you right now if you joined solo Amazon and you didn't take the training. Monday morning at 10 a.m., if I'm seeing a bunch of stupid questions, I'm not going to answer them. I'm going to point you in the direction of what? Options Weapons School. The live trade briefs, folks, are exactly that, for live trading. If you didn't take the training, I'm going to point you in that direction repeatedly to go do it. I'm not going to cripple other people in a live trade brief because you're unprepared. Nice job, Jan. I love it. SIBO bull put spread. I love SIBO. Now, I'm staying for another 10 minutes. Why? Because I'm not shooting. Let's learn from me not doing something too. What just happened with SPX? It did exactly what I told you it was going to do. We ripped up to 75. Now, if we hit one of these 25s with airspeed, it's bullish. We've had several days in a row of melt ups. Be careful of shooting a bear call spread during a melt up. It's the boiled frog, right? You can put a frog in a pot of tepid water and slowly turn it up and it'll die. It won't jump out. Watch the melt ups. That's why I didn't shoot a sniper right now. So you can kind of take a look and watch right now. That's why I stayed a little bit longer, is because I wanted to go about a half an hour, 45 minutes, but I'm here because if you hit not a moving average, one of my 25s with airspeed, either up or down, hang. Sometimes we go through it by about $5 to $10 and then it'll fade the rest of the day. So I'm watching that candle right there. This might be the fade. But again, 246. I'd wait. Okay. So here's what I'm going to do. If you want to know if I'm going to shoot a bear call spread or not, you got to join. You got to be in the hunters. Lifetime as well, but that's down the road at some point. So you're not in the hunters at $295 a month. You're not paying for it. You don't get access to it. That is for the annual members or the monthly hunter folks down here. Okay. $295 is kind of continuing your trial. To see my sniper trades, it's either $497 a month to test it out for a couple months, or just do the annual today. Almost everybody, I don't know if there's a couple people that just keep doing the monthly hunters. I'm like, okay, thanks, appreciate it. You could be saving money if you upgrade here, but almost all the members kind of end up in here, or they end up obviously ultimately in our lifetime group. We have 213 members in our exclusive lifetime club. Okay. So, all right, let me scroll up and get some questions. Not really, William. Here's what I'm going to tell you right now. Do not have death by too many things. I go play Secret Shopper at some other places. This isn't that, let me tell you a secret between us ladies. This ain't that hard. I'll go and people are like, oh, I look at the percent Williams R and the this and that and the VWAP and, the mouse eats the cheese and the rocket fires. All of those to do exactly kind of what I just showed you, to be honest with you. I've seen it all, folks, in 30 years. I think some of these people kind of over indicator to make them seem smarter. This ain't hard. Landing aboard a carrier isn't hard, as long as you've trained and you've done all the work beforehand, right? So I don't over indicator. Back in the day, VWAP and 18 screens I had in Chicago, it's too much. Don't make me bring up my solo Amazon slide of an F4 Phantom cockpit versus the F-35. I fly the F-35, folks. You don't need that much stuff. Trust me. Terry, when you put on a new synthetic stock, do you ever just buy more contracts on the one you already have that's in the money, or always buy the at the money synthetic stock? Terry, that is a fantastic question. And this is a trader in command decision. This is a tick. You're the tick. Yo Soy Wiz, I do the one I have. Why? I like a clean screen. I don't want to have 5 different trades on Amazon. I like my synthetic stock and I add to the one I have. So Terry, great question. But it's preference. That, there's no, other people like to do the exact opposite. I want to I want to see a new clean trade to keep so I know that gain or loss or whatever. 6 of one, a half dozen of the other. Excuse me. JS, you're over here in the Q&A section. SPX going up, but profit remains negative on the SPX trade for today. JS, what are you talking about, man? Did you not get out of it? Of course it's going to be negative right now. It was a bear call spread, buddy. In at $1.40, out at 90. I mean, the current market on that trade, I'm sorry, it was a bull put spread. The current profit is 65 cents. I shot it at $1.40. You're up 80 cents right now in this trade. 80 times 15 contracts is $1,200. I don't know why you're showing negative on that trade. That makes 0 cents. It was the 63.50 bull put spread. So you absolutely should not be negative on that trade. That man makes 0 sense to me. Does that make sense to you? It was a bull put spread at 50, 55, and the market keeps going up. This current trade right now is valued at 60 cents, which means you've made, it's at 50 cents, right? It's at 140, it's at 45 cents. 140 minus 45 cents equals times 15 contracts, $1,400 that trade is up right now. You should not be looking at something negative. All right. 4 minutes. I'm not going to sit here and keep talking. Now we're going to hover. Now we're doing a hover, folks. Meaning, if we don't keep ripping higher, remember 6,400 round numbers on the S&P 500 are super magnets. We will eventually see a big rip up to 6,400. I don't think it's going to be today, to be honest with you. But if we do this hover at 63.75 the rest of the day, I'm pretty damn certain we're going to fade into the close. Round numbers, 6,300, 6,400 are super magnets. The $25 increments in between them are little magnets. But now look at this, man. Maybe we do get a run up to 6,400 today. So also learn from what I'm not doing, which is taking another snipe right now. Okay. I'm happy with my $600. If you stayed in the bull put spread that I covered, you're up $1,400. That's 4 months, 5 months of the monthly hunters with a single bull put spread. 5 times 3 is 15. Never mind. That's 3 months. So I paid for 3 months of a monthly hunters with a single trade this morning. You go anywhere else where they actually pay for your membership in the live trade brief? If you do, tell me, because I've never seen it. Do I ever buy pocket puts? Nope. Absolutely not. I don't. The only things that I'll buy that I'll call lottery tickets are maybe some call options. Back in the day, I was calling those in the psychedelic stocks like 2-3 years ago. Like, these are lottery tickets, but I identify those. I don't randomly buy puts on something. I would never just straight buy puts. I'm going to have somebody else finance them with me in a bear put spread or something like that. I'm cheap. I don't pay. Rarely do I do just long calls. I'll do a bull call spread or something like that. I did have calls on MindMed, and they made a couple 100%, so I bailed. Right? Look at that. Holy shit. 54% since the beginning of the month in MindMed. So this is something I would go out into the future and just buy some lottery calls. I covered this in a video yesterday. These calls are expensive up here at $20. Wow. What about January? January 15 calls look pretty good. Maybe buy the Jan 15s and sell the 20s or something like that. That's a beautiful trade right there, folks. Here's a free trade in the next minute. Buy 10 of January's 15 calls in MindMed, sell the 20s. You're spending $530. It's a night out in Miami. You're spending $530 to potentially make close to $5,000 if MindMed rips. Breaking news, phase 3 trials in MM120 have been approved by the FDA. The VA's buying MM120 for veterans. Stock is up 300% in after hours trading. This trade will print money. Okay. But I can talk about this more when you join. Terry, I just said that I closed my MindMed calls. I made a couple 100% and closed them. I think next week we'll talk about this. I'm getting back into MindMed. I didn't get out of my MindMed calls because bearish on MindMed. I got out of them because I take profit. Learn from that. You can make a couple 100% in some call options, close them, and then get back into some other dated ones. That's exactly what I'm going to do. So there you go, Patrick. Patrick made $300 in 6 minutes. I absolutely love that, man. Well done, my brother. Shit hot. All right, I went a minute over. I didn't want to go this long, but I'm vamping a little bit because I wanted to see if there was another sniper opportunity. Do not over trade your snipers. I might be wrong, man. We might be getting a run up to 6,400 today. We'll see. That's a beautiful candle. Again, got to keep an eye on my Amazon. Make sure that 232.5 call isn't in danger. It's okay right now. And I got to keep an eye on my JP Morgan. What do I have? Holy crap. 237.5 call. Right? So I got to keep an eye on that one. I will keep an eye on that. And if I need to close it by tomorrow, I will close it by tomorrow. Okay. I mean, that is following the S&P 500 right now, but 297.5. I got to keep an eye on my JP Morgan call. This thing is ripping. Is there any news in JP Morgan right now? JP Morgan's ripping on news of being subpoenaed by the House. I don't see anything else on JP Morgan. Why the silence? I might just close them now. I mean, this thing's ripping. Done. I'm getting out. It makes no sense. I'm just going to get out of those. So I need to listen to me. When something's on a tear, either join it or get out of the way. I'm out of the way. How do I feel? Fine. I'm actually pretty damn happy that JP Morgan's ripping. Did you not see my synthetic stock up 110%? JPM on a tear, closing weekly short call. At everyone, see everybody, all my members getting alert right now. JP Morgan filled, just got filled. I see it over on this screen. Out. Lifetime members get it as well. JP Morgan on a tear, closing, boom, there we go. Done, trade alerts. And I just got filled. So there we go. Let me put the synthetic stock group back together. Love it. Nice $1,200 pop in my portfolio today. Ain't too shabby for a 30. I forget what this account started at, 25. Oh yeah, this was my pattern. I put 25 in here to avoid the pattern day trader stuff. I'm up $6,800. That's a nice return based on a 25 grand model portfolio. So, all right, guys, any other questions? We're done. I'm done. If you didn't join Full Throttle, I don't know what's wrong with you. We're having a blast here. This replay ain't going to be posted shortly because I got to run down to the hangar to do some jet stuff for the foundation. I'll post it as soon as I get back on the replay page. You got to join, folks. Enough free stuff. I'm the only guy that does this. Like I talked about, you gotta get up to speed here. Okay, so you bet, Donna. Great seeing you. There's the S&P coming back down the 63.75, but I'm not going to itch. I don't force trades, man. But keep an eye on that one. You could have we might be able to shoot a bear. If you join, maybe I will shoot a bear sniper. I can be at the hangar down in Pompano, just north of Fort Lauderdale. See a trade, go, you know what? I'm going to fire a sniper. I'll put it right on my phone. So making money and learning a lot. Thanks, Wiz. You're welcome, Terry. All right, folks. I will see hopefully all of you Monday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern for Solo Amazon. Do not be one of those people that got Solo Amazon on the cheap and didn't take the training and show up with a bunch of questions. Because I'm not going to answer. I'll answer some. I ain't going to answer ones that you should have gotten in your training. You are not to sit on the Top Gun Options dock with your mouth open and expect me to throw fish in your mouth. I'm here to teach you how to fish. Don't sit here for the trades, man. Nobody cares more about your money than who? Say it with me. You. I don't care. If I care more about your money than you, you're weird. All interest is self-interest. I'm a single seat trader, single seat fighter pilot. Learn from me. All right, I got to go. Have a great rest of your day. Fights on. Namaste. Basi basi. Go get your Maverick mind right now. Get centered. Download your trade plan, and I'll see you Monday at 10 a.m. Cheers. See you.